Hey everybody, I'm Brian with Knox Company, and I'm going to be switching out the wheels and tires on my truck, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like before and after, and how to tell what type of offset you might want, what size tires, and what to expect when you put these new wheels and tires on, and kind of show you the differences between the offsets and what they actually mean. So this right here is my 2011 Ram 2500. Has a Cummins diesel, but really we're focusing here on the wheels. We have 17-inch wheels, which are stock for this year. A lot more often you'll see 18s and 20s depending on how you purchased your truck. But the bolt pattern on this is 8 by 165, or also seen as 8 by 6.5. So that will be different for different brands. Obviously, you got Ford is not the same 8 bolt pattern for these heavy duty trucks. But for the Rams, it's 8 by 6.5. I'm going to stay with the 17-inch wheel because I like a lot of that rubber. I like the thicker rubber look. Obviously, if you go with a larger wheel and you still want to stay with something like this, like a 35-inch tire, you're going to have a lot less rubber around it. Because I do tow a lot, I want to make sure I get the E-rated tires because it has a 10 ply, which is a thicker, stronger tire. They are a little bit heavier, but for these trucks, it's not really a problem. But mainly I want to show you guys how you can diagnose for your own truck, or if even you have one of these Rams or Dodges, you kind of know what to expect, but how you can look it up and what these numbers mean when you're trying to figure out the look that you want. So we'll look at it right here in the back so we can get a better view. But right now, the wheels and the tire setup, it is just in line with the body. I don't have any type of fender flares. So if you see this, the tire barely sticks out of the body. This is a 12.5-inch, 35-inch BF Goodwrench tire, 17-inch wheels. The offset on these stock wheels is positive 44. So what does that mean? I'll show you on the front tire what that offset means, starting from 0 and whether we go positive or negative. So if you have a 0 offset wheel, what that means is that the hub of the vehicle, like however your vehicle is built, which is why it's different for each stock setup, but I'll just show you guys for a point of reference. If we have an 8-inch wheel, like the ones I'll be getting are 17 by 9, but these are, let's say, 8 inches wide. If you had a 0 offset, the hub of your tire would bolt. The vehicle would bolt right into the center of your wheel, the rim. So you would see the bolts and your lug nuts and everything further back into the wheel for a 0 offset. That is perfectly lined up. Everything is coming together between the vehicle and the wheel right in the middle. 4 inches and 4 inches, dead center, 0 offset on 8 inches. When you go negative, you actually start to push away, which is one way to remember. Negative is pushing away from the vehicle. Positive is bringing it into the vehicle, like you're adding to the vehicle. So when you see a positive offset, that means that the wheel is now moving further in. The actual wheel is moving further into the wheel well, like bringing it closer to the vehicle, which means that those lug nuts are going to be further out towards the road when you look at the wheel. So your bolt pattern will actually be further out towards and less lip. So when we look at this, you can see we're just inside. So when you look at the wheel here, you can see that the bolts don't really have much of a lip. We don't have very much of an inset. These are positive 44, which means that we are about an inch, 1.75 in from center, which means that there's more wheel towards the inside of the truck. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a negative, or actually more, I'll probably stay at a 0. So since this truck has a positive 44, that means that there is basically 44 millimeters more towards the vehicle. So that means that my bolt pattern is lining up here and I have more wheel inside the wheel well. When I go to a negative or like a 0 offset, I'm going to be bringing it back center, which means I'm pushing my wheel out from the vehicle. So I can expect about an inch to an inch and 3/4 more rubber sticking out from my wheel well by going to a 0. More negative means more push out. And for the conversion, 1 inch is roughly 25 millimeters. So when I'm at 44 and I'm going to 0, positive 44 to 0, I'm actually going to be bringing this tire 1.7 inches out. And so that's where you can start looking at where are you at on your stock setup as far as positive offset most likely, and then going to 0, -12, -22. Sometimes you'll see -44. That's going to give you a lot of lip, because the more negative, the more further back you're going to have your lug nuts and your bolt pattern, and it's pushing the tire out because it's going to bring the tire away from the vehicle, negative. Or if you go to a positive offset, sucking the tire into the truck. So I hope that right there makes a little bit of sense, so you can start kind of figuring out the math that you want. This is my before setup. Look at it again. We're just outside the wheel well here. When I go to 0 offset, I should be about 1.7 inches further out. We're gonna stay with a 35-inch tire, but we're going with a mud terrain. 17-inch wheels, all black. And I'll probably have a different type of hub or cap cover there. So I'm gonna take away these stock wheels, obviously. And we're going with a real simple, all black style. And again, a 0 offset. So I'll show you once we get those on, exactly the difference between this and then the new setup. From this to this. This is the new wheels, new tires. You can see the difference now. Maybe I'll put these here side by side so you can see. We have about 1.7 inches more pushed out from the vehicle because we went from positive 44 to a 0 offset, which means that we actually brought it more center and it pushed more of that wheel out. Same size tire, 35, 12.5 inch wide, but we have the new wheels now, 17-inch wheels, 0 offset. This is what you can expect, at least on the Ram 2500s, if you want to get a 0 offset wheel. So I was talking to a lot of the guys there at the shop because they actually have a lot of Rams, so they can tell me right up front that a 0 offset should give me about that 2 inches of exposure total, and they were pretty much right. So they do know their stuff. It was cool that they could actually just answer that and they knew it. I tried to find this online. There's not a lot of exact specifics, so that's why I was trying to make this video, to show you guys. If there's anything that you guys want to know in addition, let me know. I can show you some of the angles, but pretty much this is exactly what I expected. 44 positive to a 0 is 1.7 inches, so I can expect that outside the wheel well now, and I was probably maybe about an inch or less before, so perfect. I didn't want it sticking out too far. The only difference with these is the tires are a mud terrain, so the tire cut is a little bit different, but the width and the size of the wheel are exactly the same. So all I did is push that wheel out, but there is something that you guys do need to pay attention to. So we have this look right here, a couple inches out, but because the wheel is sticking out a little bit further, I already noticed that as I turn my wheel, so full turn, this tire actually starts to touch my plastic mud flap. It doesn't rub in here, and on this truck I have a leveling kit, so no real big lift, but just like a leveling kit. And with these full-size trucks, usually with like a standard level, like a 2.5 inch spacer in the front or some new shocks, you can fit 35s, even sometimes 37s I've heard, but 35s are really no problem. But the offset will start to introduce problems like this, where I now have to probably cut or remove these plastic mud flaps. It's only in the front on full lockup. Other than that, I have more clearance inside the wheel, obviously, because I brought it out, but that outside turn now can catch part of this plastic. And again, these are 35-inch wheels, mud terrains. I really don't think it has anything extra than the 35-inch BF Goodrich all terrains have, but for the most part, the tire's exactly the same, and now because the offset, we're rubbing a little bit. Nothing major. I'll probably take these off and clean up the look anyways. And also, if you're wondering, these are Ion wheels, some of the better value wheels that I found. Nothing crazy custom, but I did want something simple, straight black. I didn't want any chrome, I just wanted it all black. Came with the hubs. These were just over $130 a piece. I've seen some that are -6 and -12 offset, similar brand, but to get 0 offset, for whatever reason, these were just a little bit more. If I wanted to go -6, -12, which would have given me another 1/2 inch or more push out, I could have probably gotten them down to about 110, but I just knew that I wanted this look most likely. I did not want too much of that tire sticking out, And if I would have gone more and more negative, that rubber would be sticking way out there. And you can already see that I'm outside the body line. I didn't want to be outside any more than that. So I paid a couple, 20, 30 bucks more a wheel so I can make sure that I got something still priced pretty decent, but that's zero offset. So this was the cheapest, nice looking wheel that I could find with a zero offset in the 17-inch style, staying at stock size. So there you have it. That's the finished look. Exactly what I expected. I'm probably going to be going all black. I'll be taking and switching out these mirrors to an all black mirror. I'm not really a fan of these towing mirrors, mainly because they have this convex side and it's kind of put there for you. I don't really like this here. I like it better on the bottom. So the only thing I could find was an all black mirror replacement. It won't flip up, which again, I don't like it because it actually obstructs my view, but I like this look. But I wanted to be able to have a solid mirror and then put my own convex area for like seeing my wheels for towing or backing up the trailers. So I switched out these and they're gonna be all black. So if you guys want to see any more videos about switching out some stuff on this truck, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll be doing a video on changing out these emblems. I'll be removing the Ram 2500 completely, replacing with the black Cummins. I'll do black 4x4 on the back, a new black Ram emblem, all black mirrors like I said. Already got the little stubby antenna. Just a lot of little cosmetic things on this truck. And I'll also be replacing the driver's side seat because it has some wear and tear. This being a 2011 truck, getting in the driver's seat, it has a couple tears in it. So I found some factory replacement covers that I'll be putting on, and I'll show you guys how to do that as well. Eventually switching out these bumpers and probably going all black with a silver body, kind of keeping it clean and a little bit darker tint. And that is pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and I answered some of your questions. I really just wanted to get it out there and let people know exactly what offset is because it seems like everybody's always asking it. I follow a couple things on Facebook for like Ram trucks and I see them always asking it. It's a common question and I can't fault anybody because I always have to kind of think about it and go back to it. I've done it a couple times now on different vehicles, so I understand it well. And I wanted to put something out there that would help get you guys the information. And then if you happen to have one of these Ram trucks specifically, I wanted to show you exactly what the look would be with a zero offset tire, and then you guys can have a reference point on how much more rubber you do or don't want. You could even go from a positive 44 to like a positive 22. That way you're not getting as much. This has no more than probably 2 inches of tire actually sticking out, which is good. And if I end up putting some type of fender flares on it, that will actually probably almost cover it with the body line and it will kind of clean up the look so it doesn't look like the tire is just sticking way out. So I might actually eventually put some fender like flare guards on there just to kind of dress it out with some more black trim. But that'll be another video for another day. But once again, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. On my channel, I do a lot of other stuff like DIY, all things around the house. I'm even building like a full casita from the ground up. I'm doing underground plumbing, foundation, all the way up to the finished stuff like tile, electrical, kitchens, water heater, everything. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you subscribe and you guys can follow along. Otherwise, any questions, leave them in the comments below. I get back to all my comments. Thank you again, and I'll see you on the next one.